Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Today it is July 18th, 2020, and I have a couple different videos that I'm working on today, and let's just get into it, okay? This is an article from BGR. This is from, I believe it was the 7th, yes, July 7th, but I want you to listen to this, okay? These are just more breadcrumbs that you need to listen to, because they tell you the truth. They are putting this in front of you, plain as day, letting you know that the only way out of this is the VACCINE. And the more and more research that I do on what they're going to be injecting into people, the more that it truly is it's terrifying. Yeah, that's all there is to it. You have to do everything you can to not allow them to, number one, test you. Don't allow them to test you. And number two, don't allow them to give you the VACCINE. Just don't do it. Okay? Do whatever it takes to protect you and your family. Now listen to this. It says, how long will we have to wear masks in public? The answer isn't good. Of course not, right? Without a VACCINE, doctors believe that wearing a face mask in public will remain part of our everyday lives for years. A majority of epidemiologists believe we'll be wearing masks well into what? 2021. Agenda 21? When people wear masks at group gatherings, the risk of CV transmission goes down drastically. No, it doesn't. Show me where this is actually true. Okay? I do not believe this, okay? Because we know truly how these things are not spread the way that they say they are. So they can continue to put out all this research, and, we all know that the truth is not what they're saying, okay? But they will let you know the truth here when they talk about the only answer is the VACCINE. The fact that states are reopening in the midst of the CV pandemic is encouraging yet deceptive. Sure, it's nice that restaurants are reopening and that people can finally go outside and congregate in groups, but the reality is that the CV, which has killed nearly 130,000 Americans over the past few months, do you like how they have to change that too? How they say it like that? Over the past few months? They don't want to put that it's been almost 7 full months. They don't want to put that, because then they're going to that people start realizing. That's why I told you how they changed over from, it was a death count. That's all we had was a ticker. A death count was on every damn channel. It was ridiculous at the beginning of this. Now all of a sudden they flipped it to cases. They want the bigger numbers. They know that if they're still putting up these numbers for deaths, it's not enough. People are starting to realize that, hold on, it's been 7 months, 130,000 deaths, 330 million people live in this country. You do the math. You are talking drastically small percentages. But when they start talking about millions of cases, millions of people have it, well, who gives a crap? Millions of people get a cold. Millions of people get the flu. When you talk about the flu, do they talk about how many millions are infected with the flu? No, they talk about how many people die from the flu. They don't ever say, well, we had so many million infected with the flu. No, because they're not trying to push those numbers. They're trying to push CV numbers. There remains an ongoing and serious concern. Yeah. Especially in southern states like Florida and Texas. The number of new CV cases is rising at a staggering rate. Cases. See? Cases. Bearing the development of an effective VACCINE. Okay, now remember that too. Effective, okay? They word it that way very, very specifically. Now, the reason that they do that is because that way they have multiple different, shots that they're going to put out, All these different companies are working on different ones, and I got a couple different videos I'm doing right now. I'm kind of afraid to upload them because I don't want to get shut down again. But what these people are working on, Inovio, will really, really blow you away. And another great subscriber sent me an article on it, and it is just, it's DNA altering, let's just put it like that. It's DNA altering. Run from these things as fast as you can. CV safety precautions will undoubtedly have to remain in place for the foreseeable future. This means that people will have to continue adhering to social distancing guidelines and avoid large gatherings whenever possible. It also means that masks, which are pesky but undeniably necessary, according to who? Yeah, you. will have to remain a part of our everyday uniform for quite some time. You know, they talk about our gatherings, you know, these large gatherings. Well, guess what they're blaming it on just now? Check this out right here. Check this out from today, okay? CV updates. Outbreaks sprout as churches reopen. California, Texas, Chicago update school plans. How do you like that, huh? Blame the churches. Once again, Walmart can stay open. Target can stay open. Disney World can open. But if you go to church, you are the problem. I mean, you just can't make this up. You know, listen to this. As the global death toll from the CV pandemic inches towards 600,000, the U.S. reported more than 71,000 new CV-19 cases Friday, down from an all-time high of 77,000 the day before. I mean, do you see how they throw these numbers out there? It's pathetic. It's fear. Nothing but fear. If they cannot keep you afraid of this, they know they will lose control. The more fear, the more control. Several states and school boards made announcements Friday about reopening plans. I'm doing a video on that too. Okay, Texas issued new rules that give local school districts more control over the decision to start dates and how long schools can teach students online. California Governor Gavin Newsom said schools in counties with high infection rate must begin the year with remote learning. And in Chicago, the mayor said the public schools will plan to start the year with a hybrid in-person and at-home learning model. Not my kid. My kid's not going anywhere, because you want to know what they're going to have to even enter a school? Yeah, you're right. The VACCINE. Yeah. But many preliminary plans still have few details on how many CV-19 cases would close schools. See, don't let them fool you. They're going to continue to push and say, oh, we can't get together, we can't congregate, we can't go to church, you can't do this, you can't have sporting events. Oh, but guess what? Your kids are going to be able to go to school. Mark my words, they're gonna at least allow partial, so that they can try to force you to make them have the VACCINE. That's the whole thing. If they were really worried about this, they would never even take a chance of putting our children in a chance like that. They've threatened us every single day how deadly this is, and people touching each other, not wearing masks. Really? So you're going to send a bunch of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids to school that they're going to socially distance? They're going to correctly listen and stay 6 feet away from everybody? They're not going to touch things? They're going to wear masks? Are you freaking kidding me? How can anybody look at this anymore and actually, not just want to just scream? It's so frustrating. There's no common sense anymore. Whatever happened to when you had an issue that was given to you? Okay, somebody, it don't matter what it was, somebody says something to you, and you would take it and you would weigh it out. Okay, well, let's look at this side of it, let's look at this side of it, and you would come to, your, discernment by figuring it out and looking at both sides of it and figuring out what to believe, instead of instantly believing what they tell you. People have completely foregone looking into anything anymore. These people that are screaming at us because we're not wearing masks, screaming at us because we don't want to take their shot that's coming, they're the ones that are just literally completely zoned in with this fear. They are completely deceived, and they are eating it up nonstop. I mean, it is, and if you see this, you're catching more and more stories of fights and deaths. Okay, there's multiple different articles that I've looked at that. We just had 2 more here in Michigan, 2 more deaths, okay? We had one just yesterday, actually. The guy didn't die, but the guy pulled out a knife on a guy at Myers because the teller told him, you got to wear a mask. The guy said, I'm not going to wear a mask. He said, well, I'll make you wear a mask. The guy pulls out a knife. And the guy that didn't wear the mask, the guy that didn't want to wear the mask, he ends up in jail, and he has aggravated assault, attempted assault with a deadly weapon, etc., right? And that was on our local news, so they're pushing that story, because I've seen many other stories that are the other way, but they're going to push those stories on mainstream news. If you don't wear the mask, you are the problem. What is wrong with you? Why won't you just do this? Don't you care about everybody else? No, you didn't care about us, and you don't care about us now. And the people that truly believe that they still care about us, it's pathetic. It's pathetic to think that your government cares about you. The government that hurts you, that puts you into the positions that you're in right now, and that you believe them, that they're going to help you still? Well, do you see them out on vacation? Do you see them working on a stimulus? Do you see, when would you get money? Oh, back in April. May, June, July, August. Are you kidding me? They're on vacation. They're having fun. They're living their lives. But those are the people you are trusting with their information. You better get awake, man. Wake the hell up. Let's get back to this article. Sorry, I went on a little rant there, but it's hard not to sometimes. To this end, Dr. Eric Toner of the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. Okay, listen to that one. Health for Health Security. Johns Hopkins, what do you know, right? Believes that masks may remain part of our lives for the next few years. I think that mask wearing and some degree of social distancing we will be living with, hopefully living with happily, for several years. Even if a VACCINE is developed, Toner articulates that it's going to take time to VACCINATE the entire country. You heard that, right? Yeah, the entire country. That's why I said they tell you the truth. It's in here. They're going to lie to you about numbers, but they'll tell you what their plan is if you just listen. So while a VACCINE may arrive in late 2020 or early 2021, Agenda 21, in a best case scenario, mask wearing will remain an imperative until the VACCINE can be administered to the entire country. What's more, there's also a chance that the first VACCINE won't even prevent an initial infection. Rather, some researchers believe that the first VACCINE may simply prevent some of the virus' more severe symptoms from taking hold. Are you guys hearing this? Are you kidding me, right? They are coming out saying that it won't even prevent it, okay? This deadly stuff they're going to put in you. Oh, sorry, it won't even prevent it. It just might prevent some of the, the more harsher things. It's crazy. We'll go to that article in just a second. On a related note, a recent New York Times survey found that more than 50% of the 519 epidemiologists believe that we'll have to keep wearing masks for another year at an absolute minimum. The cruel irony of it all is that most people will be forced, here you go, there's your word, to wear masks for the next few months precisely because a shockingly large number of people still refuse to wear masks when out in public. And somewhat bizarrely, the choice between wearing a mask and not wearing a mask has somehow morphed into a polarized political issue when it should be nothing but a health issue. That said, the benefits of wearing a mask to prevent CV transmission is overwhelmingly clear and not so in dispute. Oh, you want to bet it's not in dispute? If it is a health issue, you're right. It's a health issue for me to wear it. There is study after study that prove wearing these masks are bad for you. They will hurt you. You are not good breathing in your own carbon dioxide all day, especially when it's 100 degrees out. Do you realize right now how hot it is? It's 85 plus degrees in almost the entire country. There's triple digits everywhere. Okay, this is... And they want you wearing a mask. Just think about that. Where the hell did this... This is just crazy, right? How do we get here? By letting these people do this. Oh, look at this. You gotta love this too, how they throw this in there. Meanwhile, Brazil President Jair Bolsonaro, who doesn't always wear a mask in public, tested positive for CV earlier today. What a joke, right? You know what I mean? They gotta, at the end of the article, they gotta throw that in there. But let's go back up here real quick. I want to go to this. Prevent an initial infection. All right. The first VACCINE may not be able to prevent infection. I mean, what are we... Are we serious? Are you going to let them put this in you? Look at this. Without a VACCINE, CV19 may linger for another 2 years. Don't you love how they can come up with exactly how long it's going to be around now, too? According to some researchers. The first VACCINE, however, may not be a cure-all and may not be able to prevent an initial infection. Okay, they've already come out and said that it wasn't going to be a cure-all because they're not going to be, because some people won't take it. You and me, right? We won't take it. So that's why it's not going to be a cure-all, and we'll continue to spread it because we're not going to take it. Okay, but now they're actually coming out and saying it, even if everybody is forced to take this shot, right? It still may not even be able to prevent an initial infection. I mean, this is, it's as ludicrous as you could ever be if anybody truly would allow their child to let this get put in them. If you allow your child, with not doing everything in your power to fight back against it, if you allow them to put this vaccine in your children, I'm sorry, but shame on you. If you have the information, I'm not saying people that don't get this information that we try to get out to everybody. I'm talking about you and me. We know. And if you aren't fighting against that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's not happening. My son will never get that. And I pray about this daily. But I know what comes if I allow that, and I won't allow it. In the absence of an effective CVVACCINE, a second wave of infections will be something of an inevitability, especially now that the states are reopening after a multi-month lockdown. There has been no shortages of stories detailing how people are not adhering to social distancing, or other safety measure guidelines. That's the whole thing. They blame it on us, right? It's for your own good. You're not doing it. It's your fault. Now we have to take all this other stuff away from you, and the only way you can get any of this stuff back is by what? Taking the VACCINE. Put simply, the number of CV cases may jump significantly due to community spread over the next few weeks. In fact, some states like Arizona and Florida are already seeing huge spikes in the number of cases. Cases, right? Not even talking about deaths anymore. They're not. It's all about cases. So why aren't we seeing the same amount of deaths that we were seeing? If we're beating the numbers from April, right? We have so many more, cases. Why aren't we seeing so many more deaths? I wonder, right? Without a VACCINE, researchers from the Center of Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota recently said that CV might persist for another 2 years. They know exactly how long this is going to happen. They know exactly what's going to happen because it's all planned. If you don't see that now, there's nothing we can do. I can't yell any louder. I can't put out any more videos that are going to continue to show you you're being led astray. If you don't see that, I can't stress how important it is that you need to hit your knees. Hit your knees and pray. Because I'm telling you, you better find faith. If you trust this government and you trust what they're about to give you, you're going to need God more than you ever have before. I'm going to leave the links to both these in the description with a couple other links as well. So if you guys want to check out the rest of the articles, you guys can go ahead and do that. I hope everybody is doing good. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my backups, please try to go subscribe to them. I uploaded a video just yesterday to Eric Sees All 2 because it was pretty on the edge and I didn't want to upload it here. But if you want to go back and check that video out, it was just a mirror, but it is a great video. It shows a lot of how they have completely programmed and completely, by social media and the internet and everything else, the TV, how they have completely brainwashed, all of us, all of the ones that can't see it. So if you want to go check that out, I'll leave the link for that as well. I hope everybody does real good today. Everybody stay safe. We'll get through this. Continue to pray against this evil. With Jesus, they have no chance. So, in the end, we know who wins. There is no next book. There is no next chapter. In the end, Jesus wins. Satan loses. Hallelujah. I love each and every one of you. We'll talk to you real soon. God bless.